guys, so for today's video, I let my sister pick out a design for me to do because when you're seeing this, it's the day after her birthday, and I decided for her birthday I would let her pick out a nail design and I would do it. She doesn't wear nails, so these aren't like for her or anything. It was just something that I was going to do. But anyhow, she picked out for me to do a saw set. And I know that's probably really weird to do a saw nail set in the middle of summer, but she really loves that movie. So that's what she picked out for me to do. So to start out, I'm painting two of the nails black with Perfect Black from Madam Glam, and then the rest of the nails are getting painted with Perfect White from Madam Glam, and I do 2 coats of both of those colors, curing both coats for 60 seconds. So like I said, my sister picked out these nails and I told her she could pick anything that she wanted, and then she sent me these 2 like reference pictures, and she sent those to me and I was like, I low-key regret telling you you could pick anything you wanted, because I am not the best at doing like realistic type of portraits. So like real like human faces or faces that are supposed to look like real human faces. I know this guy is like a little puppet thing or whatever, but it is very like a realistic human type of looking face. So I'm not the best at doing that, but I did try my best. I'm not gonna try and explain what I was doing. I don't really know how to explain how to do this type of nail art or like paintings, because 1, I'm not very good at it, and 2, I don't really know what I'm doing half the time. I kind of just do something and hope it works out. I will say though, I am out of frame a lot when I'm doing this, just because this was a very detailed piece of art that I was doing, and I needed to pull it close to my face to see it better and see what I was doing and making sure things looked right. So there are a lot of cuts just because I was completely out of frame and you couldn't see what I was doing. But I'm just gonna kind of let this play out. I did end up redoing this nail because 1, as you can see here, it kind of wrinkled there on the white, and then also I didn't like how this nail turned out, so I did end up redoing it after I did all the rest of the nails, but I did it off camera, so you're not gonna see me redoing that. Also, I didn't do exactly what was on the reference pictures that she showed me. I took some elements and did some of those, and then I kind of just did some other stuff that I felt like fit the vibes for this set, especially since I started with doing this nail. I usually always start with what I feel like is going to be the hardest design, and then go on to what's going to be easier, just so I can get the harder stuff out of the way. And I'm not gonna lie, after doing this nail, I was a little bit annoyed just because it didn't turn out how I was wanting it to, and things just weren't going well. And like I said, I'm not very good at doing this, so I do get frustrated a lot because it's just not looking right and it's not up to like my standards. So I was a little frustrated, and I kind of made everything else a little simple and easy just because this nail took so long and it was so difficult, and I had to redo it again anyhow. So I kind of wanted the rest of the nails to be quick and easy so I could get those done and then move on to redoing this nail. So, fun fact, I've actually never seen any of the Saw movies like fully. I've seen little bits and pieces here and there because like I said, my sister loves this movie and like the whole franchise series, whatever you want to call it. She's seen all of them, and when she's watching them, like I've gone past and like seen some clips here and there of it, but I've never actually watched the entire movie or like any of the movies in full. So I don't really know like much about it or like really what's going on. Like I know there's this little puppet thing, and then they have to do all these things to get out of these traps and whatever, and like if they don't get out then the traps will kill them or whatever. Like I don't know. Like I said, I've never seen them and I don't really know much about them. My sister keeps trying to convince me to watch them, but just from the clips that I've seen, like from her watching them, I'm not really that interested in them. And I really like horror movies. Like horror is my number one favorite genre of movies, but there are just some horror movies where I'm like, this is not good. I don't like it. It's not interesting. And like I said, just the clips that I've seen from the different Saw movies that she's watched, I don't know, it doesn't interest me at all. I mean, eventually I will get around to watching them just because I feel like they're so... I don't want to say they're like a classic horror movie because I don't really feel like they are, but they might be. I don't know. But I know they're like pretty popular and a lot of people enjoy them and whatever. So I will eventually get around to it, but I'm just kind of not into it right now. So after finishing that one, I moved on to this nail, which is the saw logo, I guess. So it just says a saw. I did it with white first, and then I go over it later with the red, because obviously the red isn't going to show up as brightly on the black, and the white is just going to make the red pop a little bit. So I did only do one coat of the white, cured that for 60 seconds. And then for this now, I wrote out, do you want to play a game? I just kind of did it really messily, and I did it in red because I kind of wanted it to look like it was like written in blood almost. I don't know if that's like a thing in the movies or not, but I felt like it fit and went with it. So I did that. I also added on to make it look like some of the letters were dripping. And then I did some little smudges around in the background just to make it look a little more messy and a little dirty. I do wish instead of just doing a plain white background, I would have made it look a little more like dirty, kind of like a dirty, gross, grungy type of wall, and then there's this like these words written out in blood on it. I feel like that would have looked better than just having this like bright white nail. Also, I realized I didn't show the red that I'm using, and I can't remember which red I used. It was either Energize Your Day or Passion from Madam Glam. I also might have mixed them together a little bit to get a red. Those are usually the two colors I go between whenever I'm doing blood, depending on like how I want the blood to look on the nail. I will also sometimes mix in like brown or purple to deepen it up a little bit. But I know for this set it was either just Energize Your Day or Passion, or like those two colors mixed together, but I can't remember exactly. And then again, same with this nail. I just used whatever red I was using for the blood to go over for the logo here. And then for this nail, I did some blood drips, and I was just gonna leave it with the blood drips, but then it looked kind of empty and boring. And like I said earlier, with the bright white background, I wish I would have toned it down a little bit and made it look a little more dirty. I feel like then it would have just been fine having the blood drips. But because I felt like the white was just so bright and it didn't really fit very well with this set, I did try to make it look like the blood was dripping down from like a high point on a wall or from the ceiling down to the floor into a puddle. And then I also did end up adding some little smudges there in the background as well. And then for this nail, I just did like blood smudges and smears. And I just took the reds and kind of smushed them around and mixed them up. I also mixed a little bit of brown in there to kind of make it look a little like there was fresh blood and dried blood mixed together. And then after that, I took my matte top coat from LGN and top coated all of the nails. And I actually forgot to wipe them off with alcohol beforehand, because if you've watched any of my previous videos where I've used matte top coat, I always say to wipe the nails off with alcohol beforehand to prevent any smudging or smearing that may happen due to that sticky layer being left and the matte top coat dragging that down the nail. Thankfully with this set, with the blood on there, it didn't really matter. But also, I've noticed that the LGN matte top coat doesn't really smudge the nail art that I do. So I got really lucky here and I didn't have an issue. But I definitely do always recommend to wipe your nails off with some alcohol and remove that sticky layer before going in with a matte top coat. After I got that applied, I did go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. And this is what they look like. I'm not in love with them, but I don't hate them. They're alright. I feel like the middle nail is the one that's throwing me off the most, just because it was supposed to be like that super realistic looking puppet guy, but it didn't really turn out looking quite right. I mean, you get the idea and you can tell who it's supposed to be, but it also doesn't really look like who it's supposed to be, but it's alright. Also, here's the first one that I did compared to the second one. I do feel like the eyes on the first one came out a little better than the eyes on the second one, but it is what it is. I do really want to work on and practice more doing more like realistic type of portraits on nails. I don't know if I will continue to do that, but it is something that I would like to do. But I don't really do it often just because I kind of hate doing it because I'm not that great at it. But anyhow, my sister ended up really liking them. She said they came out really good and like they definitely have the vibes of the movie. So I'm really happy with that. But that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed it.